And I would like to introduce our first speaker, Rachel Bronson. Dr. Bronson is Vice President of Studies for the Chicago Council. She has a deep background in research, and we are thrilled today that she is going to share her thoughts on what we are trying to accomplish here. Dr. Bronson?
Denny, thank you, and thank you everybody for coming out on this August morning. You can imagine as we were putting it together and we saw the date of early morning in August, we said, really? To which Governor Holden and Bob Fox said, we'll do it, and it's just tremendous. So we're delighted, and thank you all. We really appreciate it. All I'm going to do is kind of introduce our effort to you today, what we're about, and quickly turn it over to Tamar and our amazing panel. But I do want to thank the Immigration and Innovation Steering Committee just for bringing out all the support and allowing us to fall in on such strong audience and support. I want to thank Focus St. Louis, the Holden Public Policy Center at Webster University, Immigration Works, Tamar's organization in Washington that she'll talk a little bit about, that brings small business leaders together around the issue of immigration reform. I want to thank World Trade Center, Tim Nowak. Everyone's been really tremendous and helpful, so we really appreciate it. I'm delighted to introduce our effort today. The Chicago Council on Global Affairs, 90-year-old organization, we've been working on issues on and around immigration and immigration reform for at least the last 10 years. And this is kind of the latest incarnation of what we're doing. The Chicago Council has about 7,000 members. We do about 150 programs a year, put 20,000 people through our doors. So when we focus on an issue, we do it very carefully and thoughtfully because of all these members. And so when we take polarized and polarizing issues like immigration on, we do it with considerable attention, but there's been enormous support from our membership on that, and I can tell that it's probably a very similar membership to what's here given the turnout. So a little bit about this task force that Tamar is going to talk with you about. This is, as she'll explain, it's a draft, and we're intentionally bringing a draft around because the task force focuses on, it's a Midwest voice on immigration reform with a focus on economic competitiveness. So the task force, we have 9 co-chairs, which you can imagine is quite a large number of co-chairs. But we did it because we wanted to make sure it was bipartisan, and it represented members from across the Midwest and different sectors of society. So among the co-chairs, we have 2 governors, Republican Mike Rounds from South Dakota, Democrat Chet Culver, former governor of Iowa, Mayor Daley from Chicago, Democrat. We have business leaders. John Rowe is a big business leader in Chicago, and a number of others trying to get business, political, and then within the task force itself, people from across the region. So from St. Louis, we have Governor Holden and Bob Fox. So thank you for your support on this. Jack Strauss came up to brief our group earlier this year. This group has come together to put together the report that Tamar will talk about, and now we're coming out and coming back to the hometowns of folks on our task force. So we will be in 7 cities in the next 2 weeks. We started in Chicago yesterday. St. Louis is the first stop, so we have enormous excitement, and we're very encouraged about where we head next. But just for your own sense where we're going next, we'll be in Des Moines, Fargo, Minneapolis. We'll be at Purdue and West Lafayette, Indiana, and then we're going up to Detroit. And then come September, we might spin back and go through Cleveland and then back to Springfield. What we're also trying to do, and this is very important to share with you, is build what we're calling a group of 500. That once we have this report set and talks about some thoughts we have on what the Midwest needs to be economically competitive, we'll have that group sign the report. But we're trying to also build a group of 500 where 500 individuals or organizations from across the region sign on to it. So when we go to Washington in early 2013, it's a group of 45 Midwesterners, 9 co-chairs, and then 500 others, and the sense that there's something bigger than just an academic report coming to Washington. And if we can authentically say this is a Midwest voice, and there's something different that tomorrow we'll talk about what's going on in the Midwest that needs to be heard. We think that it actually might give cover for politicians to make some hard decisions. So if what you hear today you find interesting and you want to know more, or you'd like to see when it goes from draft to final, my colleague Jill Ritterboss, who is sitting right over there, will take your business card, stay in touch with you, and then get you a copy when it's final. Hopefully you'll see your input today. It's something you'll like, and we'll be able to include you in part of this effort. So with that, I want to thank everyone again, and I want to welcome to the podium Governor Holden, who's been a tremendous friend of the Chicago Council, and we're delighted to be doing this with his support as well. Thank you.